pick your nose now, Dan, because we don't want to do it on video.
Yeah.
Nice. Hi, Ringers.
Hey.
Oh, my goodness, you guys. Episode 67, Dan. Are you ready to record a podcast this morning?
Yes, I am. We need to figure out a better way to be like, oh my gosh, episode 67. That can't be the only thing that we're excited about each time. We need to make that.
Well, I just think it's awesome, considering we put out an episode every other week in seasons.
Have we missed one ever? Have we missed putting one out?
No, we've intentionally skipped it because of a holiday. Like, remember, Christmas and New Year's Eve fell on Tuesdays, but otherwise we knew that.
Awesome.
So, yeah. Hi, Ringers. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. Everybody on the Patreon feed, we're recording this quite a bit in advance, but I'm having a lot of fun, even at the current state. And I know I'm going to continue having fun in the future state and talking with everybody in there and all that stuff. So
that's right. I feel like you can tell it's getting nicer outside. So I'm hoping that when people are watching this in the future in the winter, that they'll just be like, oh wow, it's sunny. Dan's got short sleeves on. I can wear short sleeves.
Well, this episode is going to come out June 25th, so it's not going to be cold.
No, it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice, but it's getting nicer now too out when we're recording this.
Exactly. That is very true.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So
ready to dive
let's
in?
record a podcast. Yeah, let's do it.
Podcast. Hold on, wait. I want to itch my eyeball, get all the eye boogers, and take a sip of my water.
Eye bugs.
Mm-hmm. Wait, bangs? Check. Good. Fix your bangs, Dan. Fix your bangs. Beautiful.
Got it.
Good job.
Okay. I got my guy hooking me up, Arturo. He hooked me up.
I got desperate the other day and I walked to a salon down the street that's not a super great salon, and I paid $20 and I got a 7-minute haircut, and it's not pretty. The headphones are hiding it. It's fine. It'll grow in. I'm not worried about it. I just maybe learned a little bit of a lesson.
Yeah. You pay for what you get.
You get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for what you get.
That is, you also do that or you go to jail.
All right, let's do this. Okay. So what are we talking about today?
Dan, we are talking today about wedding registries. And we're talking about this because about 4 billion of you have wedding registries. About 4 billion of you have written into us and sent us questions about registries. And I never thought it was a topic that y'all would want to talk about, but you spoke, we heard, we're listening, we're sharing. Here we are.
We're talking.
So excited. We're talking.
Yeah, this could be a good one, I think, because I feel like when Rachel and I did our registry, we were in a position that I think a lot of people are. A lot of couples out there in, which is they're already living together. They probably already have their dishes and whatever. And so I think I'll be able to give some good tidbits, but I think this is going to be a good one that, just a good one to take some notes on, because we're going to go over a lot of information, throw a lot of different places, because it's not just Bed Bath and Beyond anymore, right? I feel like that was the major one, maybe that and Pottery Barn when Rachel and I were going through it, but there's so many amazing ones now that can really take things to a whole new level for you.
Yeah. And everything that we're talking about, none of these are ads. This is not a sponsored episode. So everything that we're talking about are just things from our own experience, things that we've seen, things we've seen our clients who we work with talk about. So that's kind of where this came from. We did a lot of research to make sure that what we were bringing you is up to date and accurate and all that good stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to put a disclaimer out there that none of this is coming from a place of, oh, well, they're being paid to talk about this thing, because that's not it. And if we were, we would totally disclose that, but that is not the case.
100%.
So Dan, I want to start with kind of where some places are. So you were saying for your wedding, you guys registered at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yes, we did. But I also just saw that Bed Bath & Beyond is closing, I think, 40 stores nationwide.
That's not a lot, though, when you think about it. How many stores? They must have thousands of stores nationwide.
Yeah, that's just maybe that's trimming off the fat, but that's a bummer still that that the stores are closing. But I think Bed Bath and Beyond it's awesome, right? You go there and you can get a hand scrubby, some weird almond nut mix, and a vacuum, whatever you want. You know what I mean? Like they always have like that random, like,
Yeah.
like here's this weird food you can have. And you're like, yeah, I need that.
I need a
You know,
snack right now. Of course I need a
I need
snack.
that like a butterscotch cheddar popcorn. Sure. Anyway, yeah, so Bed Bath and Beyond I think was, is a big one. And then of course now you've got, Target's a huge one. Wayfair's a big one, and then maybe some fancier ones like what are you thinking? Crate and Barrel?
There's Crate and Barrel, Pottery Barn, Williams Sonoma.
Oh,
I mean,
Williams Sonoma.
even Amazon does a wedding
Yep.
registry. So
Yep.
you have a ton of options. I think what it comes down to is you want to register at places that fit your style of your
Yep.
home, because you don't want to register for things that are then going to feel really out of place. And you also
Right.
want to set up your registry at a place where your guests are going to be able to afford to shop.
Yeah.
You may have a guest that it is no problem for them to spend 50 to $100 on you for a gift. You may have a guest where, most of your guests, it's no problem for them to spend $500 to $1,000 for you on a gift. Everybody has different
Right.
people on their guest list. So it needs to all balance out. And I think it's just about knowing your guests, knowing your style, and choosing from there.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the recommendations I would have is find somewhere that you can do like one online and one store, physical location where people can go. So like right now, Rachel and I are working through baby registries. And we just did one at Amazon and one at Target. We did one on Amazon because, we've got some friends, all over the place who are just saying, hey, we want to buy you guys something. And they just want to bust something out at Amazon and send it to us. But then when, the shower comes back up, some of the people are going to want to go pick something up at Target or whatever and then bring it to the shower. So same thing happens, I think, with weddings as well, where, Amazon has some really amazing things that you maybe can't get necessarily in some of the stores because they're just able to offer everything. But there's also some things people want to be able to physically walk up and give you something at your bridal shower, or, if you have an engagement party or whatever that is. So both options is my suggestion.
Yeah, I'm definitely the guest that if I can shop online, I get the invite. I often can't attend because it's on a weekend where I have an event. I go online,
Yep.
I hit something from the registry, boom, send it to them, and I am done. That makes me
Yep.
sound like such a cold person. But for me,
Efficient.
I just like to get it done, know that I did it, and let them have their thing and be so
Yeah.
excited. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
in talking about this, so those are your like traditional registries, I would say, the ones that
Yep.
we've seen for many, many years that have worked really well. And even like to expand a little bit on what you were saying, Dan, there's kind of a lot of fun as a couple going to the store, and I think they probably still give you that gun, right? Where they
It's so addicting. It's
right?
brutal.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
that's one of the experiences of planning a wedding, like going to bridal shows and doing all the things that, maybe you don't want to do it, but like, hey, give it a shot, and it could be fun and it could be silly, and make a night out of it, and
A shot of dopamine.
retail therapy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we put a whole bunch of things on our wedding registry, but I definitely put a marshmallow shooter on there, and somebody bought it for us, and it was amazing. I still have it and still
What
use it, and
in
it's
the
hilarious.
world is a marshmallow shooter?
You get like it's this little bow and arrow that's got like a tube on top of it. It's like a little feeder, and you put mini marshmallows in there, and they slowly feed into this thing, and you pull it back, and it's like an air powered marshmallow shooter. To this day, we have no clue who bought it for us. Nobody
Oh,
ever,
no.
nobody ever fessed up to it. No, it was
That's
at the
really
wedding,
funny.
and they we've asked people, and nope, nobody. We don't know. But yeah,
That's so
amazing. Oh
interesting.
no, I think we might have gotten it in the mail. Like people sent it to us. Anyway, but
That's
yeah,
so
it was just so fun to like walk around and scan things, which we'll talk about in a little bit more.
Wouldn't
in
it
a
be
little
cool if I sent it to you and it was this big revelation that I was like, Dan, it was me.
That wouldn't be
Problem
you.
solved. That wouldn't be me.
That's not
That's true.
practical enough for you.
You're right. I get everybody food processors, which we're going to talk about. Anyway, so going back to registries. So we talked about the traditional ones, right? But we are now in 2019, and we have all of these amazing and genius people in the world that are coming up with ways to do things better. And part of that are these non-traditional registries. And I always recommend these for couples who usually live together in conjunction with, with a small like traditional registry. Like I think that these are good options, but maybe not should be the only options that you give your guests, especially if you've got older guests who aren't going to understand what these are about. Like Dan said, sometimes people like to go and shop, but doing a mix of both is really great. So the first one I want to talk about is Zola, Zola. If you watch anything online, if you're anything like me, I feel like I see commercials for Zola constantly. It might be because I'm engaged, so it's like specifically targeting my eyeballs. But Zola is this really great hybrid because they have cash registry options, which we are going to get into a little bit later in the episode. They have honeymoon funds. They have experiences that you can register for, which really, I think at the end of the day, when you register for experiences, it's basically just guests sending you cash that you can use towards those experiences. So it's up to you. But they also have traditional household items. So that's where it comes in as being like a really great hybrid. So if you have friends who like want to get together and send you on this really cool kayaking trip, they can pull in all their money and purchase that for you. If you have a group of friends who really wants to go in and get you a really cool vacuum for your house, they can do that as well. So it's just a matter of whatever you guys want, what you need. I've heard really good things about Zola, and now they're also doing wedding websites and guest list management tools and stationery and all these things. So I hope that they don't start getting into such a big thing that they start doing
watering down everything they also do.
They stop doing what they do well. I don't know if that's the case. I hope they don't, is what I'm saying. But yeah, I think I've heard a lot of really good things about Zola for sure.
Yeah, I was just reading a book about that. How this is probably a way tangent, unless there's anybody out there who's a business owner that like how much it actually can affect your business to like do those things that are like sort of related, but that you don't actually do. Mm-hmm. And how sometimes that can water down like your message and actually what you do. But anyway, sorry. Totally different. But anyway, one of the ones that keeps coming up for me and that I know some of my couples have used is Honey Fund, HoneyFund. And it's pretty much a straight crowdfunding platform that is for your honeymoon. So your guests hop on there, and I'm not 100% sure how it works, but I believe that you like kind of list some of the things that you're doing, where you're going, what you're doing, and people can give you money towards those specific things. So some people can pool their money together and pay for, say you're going on a cruise and one of the cruise stops is in, I don't know, some tropical place. They can give you like a several $100s to have a beachfront personal private cabana with an attendant who brings you drinks all day long, and you just get to lounge in these lovely beach beds with these white flowing drapes around you, which I'm saying that because that's what we did one of the days on our honeymoon. And I'm not like a great beach guy. My wife can just like sit and plow through beach days like nobody's business. But it was arguably the best day on our honeymoon because we got this like, no lie, it was like a 10-foot by 10-foot bed on the beach in Haiti. And there were just these like white drapes around us on all sides. And we just like laid on it and napped and ate and had drinks and then like went and like laid in the water on these rafts that also came with it for like a little bit. And then we just came back and like read and drank and it was just amazing. But anyway, yeah, it was just awesome. So people,
way to paint the picture.
Yeah, I can do that sometimes, you know. Yeah, people, your guests can literally give you help pay for those experiences that you want on your honeymoon.
And Honey Fund, if my memory is serving correctly, if anybody watches Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary, it's part of his portfolio. I'm pretty sure. Now that I said that, I'm second guessing myself. But we're big Shark Tank fans in this house. But I'm pretty sure it falls in that. And so you can also use it as just a cash registry. It doesn't charge a fee to your guests, which I really like. And they're also doing gift cards. So like they're doing a lot of cool things. And it's an easy way for guests to contribute money to you. That it's one and done, pretty easy. They're very reputable. They've been around for a while. I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon. And yeah, now another one I actually found in researching, which I didn't know existed, is called Just Giving. And we're going to link all these in the show notes, just like we always do. But it's basically in lieu of gifts, you can ask us to donate to a charity of your choice. And I think that's just really lovely. And it sets it up. There was other registries that did this as well. and I just thought that was really interesting and worth mentioning. Another one was Blueprint Registry.
Hmm,
In the research we were doing for this, that came up a lot. I don't
interesting.
have too. I'm not too familiar with it to like give you more information on it, but worth checking into. It's to me,
Yeah.
it's branded really well. It looks really pretty, and I liked it a lot. But I honestly, in my experience, I haven't heard of it much. But that said, I'm as a planner not always very heavily involved on the wedding registry side of things. So
Yeah.
yeah, just some like cool non-traditional ones worth checking out. Dan, do you have any other ideas?
Yep. There's I mean, these are like the bigger names out there, but one of
Yeah.
the things that I would say is also check with your wedding pros. So I know a big thing for a lot of photographers right now is, a lot of people have photography as like a high priority, and some, photography, good photography, and especially some of the things that come with it can sometimes be, and I hesitate to use the term expensive because sometimes people would say like, oh, $5,000 TV is not expensive, but it's like, it's just because they use it so much. It's an investment. So I know some people who sell $5,000 wedding albums because there's multiple volumes and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so a lot of, I don't know about a lot of, but many different wedding professionals use Registry specifically for their business. That you can maybe have somebody gift you, and I'm speaking only about photographers here, gift you a money towards your wedding package that you can help pay off. That you can be gifted like a 24 by 24 or some large canvas that you can hang on your wall of a favorite photograph from your wedding, or like I do, I usually just offer gift certificates that couples can use towards whatever they want. If that's to put some money towards their wedding package, or to put some towards their wedding album upgrades, whatever that is. So check with some of those people too, and just say, hey, we really like what you do. Do you offer a wedding registry or
Yeah.
ways for our guests to help us out? See
Never
what they
hurts
say.
to ask, right? All they can
Yep.
say is, "Sorry, I don't have something like that set up yet." But
No harm, no foul.
right. But maybe you spark something in them, and they go, "You know what? I'm going to look into that because that's a really good idea." And look at you
Mhm.
helping people, Ringer. Look at you go. All right, now, like we just listed off like a dozen different ideas
Bajillion.
here. Yeah,
A bajillion.
just south of bajillion, yes. And it's okay to have more than one registry. In fact, I kind of recommend having, anywhere between 2 to 4, but having too many is going to feel a little bit, let's say, hungry, right? Like a little
Hungry.
too gift grabby, and we don't want that.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 2 to 4. If you're doing two, maybe like a traditional one and a non-traditional one, that's your sweet spot. But let's not get too register crazy, because then you're giving your guests analysis paralysis. They're not going to know where to go, where to start. They're going to like dive into like all your registries and just make it easy for them, right?
Yeah, and speaking of where to start,
Mm-hmm.
and this is directly for you guys. Some people always say like, "Hey, when should we do this? When should we start registering?" As soon as possible,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like even like right away, right? Like make some of your big decisions and then go out and start doing it. Rachel and
Yeah.
I, when we went out to Bed Bath and Beyond, we actually had to go out twice and walk around Bed Bath and Beyond and do it because we didn't get
You
everything
poor
finished on the first
things.
round. Oh, it was amazing. Oh, so much fun.
No, that
And
is
she
true.
the woman Tyra, who was just amazing. She really fed into my ego too. She's like, "Honey, you could do this, make it happen." You need, or she would like. So I'm as loud and as much of the center of attention as I like to be. Putting some of those like uh, bigger ticket items on my registry felt very strange to me. I don't. Why would I put a $250, $300 vacuum on my registry or whatever? And what I realized is she said, and I tell some of my clients this too, but it's like, don't underestimate that people want to do good for you, and don't underestimate like people wanting to come together and buy this like great thing for you that's going to be good quality and last for a long time and whatever. And for us that was like our vacuum that we really love, and we
That's awesome. Yeah, I let's actually probably talk about that more, because exactly like you said, it's you might have coworkers or friend groups or like your group of cousins who just want to go in together and just spoil you with an awesome big thing, as opposed to getting a bunch of little things, like things that are going to like really change your lifestyle. I mean, and maybe that's being dramatic, but like things that really make you go, like, I would have never bought this thing for myself. Like a Vitamix, you know,
Yep.
that thing that
Oh,
you maybe
awesome.
wouldn't buy for yourself, but, and what's one person that's going to like buy it for you? That's like a fair thought. But think about those people that are going to come together, all contribute whatever it is they need to do to make it happen. Oh, I love that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. I I like to see people's reactions when I get to give them something. Like one of my cousins was having twins, and so I bought one of the car seats for my cousin, and I know that like my family is like my extended family is a family that like they will constantly like they'll agonize over like, well, who's going to put this in, who's going to do that and this and that, and it's just like sometimes that can take a while. And I was like, you know what, this year was really good to me, let's just buy this car seat and give it to her. And she lost her mind over it. So she was they need two of everything, right? Like it automatically just means that like there's just so much more. And so I just bought the car seat for her, and she was just like ecstatic, right? And it was like a little over $200 or something like that. And and I'm not trying to say that, I don't know. I guess the point I'm trying to get across is that like, some people, some of your guests will want to be able to just gift you something that you might think that is like too expensive, or you shouldn't put on the registry. So don't underestimate people's willingness to want to help you out and get you, off on the right foot. That tradition of like, helping a couple like start their lives together, whatever, I think it's still beautiful, and it still holds true that some people really want to get you, started off the right way. And if you can see me, you're just like, you could see me like just like oomping the
Oofing. That's
just
poof, right.
go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Like
you
you're
don't
like
want
a
to.
little baby with tricycle wheels, and you're just like, go, you can do it.
Right. Well, it takes a village, right? I guess that's more in raising a baby and less about planning a wedding. But still, it's about your community of people
Yeah.
coming together to support you. Now, that said, you don't want to do all big things. Like, you don't want to
Right.
just have a ton of big things on your registry that people are going, yeah, I can't really help here. So it's good to mix in some of those like small, affordable things too, with multiple price points. Things that are going to be maybe like super cheap that they can get a few of those things and gift it to you, or whatever it is. But you definitely want multiple price points. But take home story is, don't be afraid to do some bigger things. Now, bigger things that you are genuinely actually going to use and appreciate. Don't just register for expensive stuff for the sake of registering for it. That is no bueno. Don't do that, guys.
Yeah. No go.
But yeah, I mean, think of it too. You've got, like, I love the idea of registering for like the trips and the experiences, especially if you're already living together. But it's still like we've kind of reiterated now. It's a good idea to register for like the traditional household items to keep the grannies and the aunties happy and all that stuff. So if you are already living together, maybe look around your house and say, well, what needs some refreshing, right? What maybe could we use some upgrading? Like in our house, when Mike and I came together, we have like a hodgepodge of bath towels, and we've originally like we've gotten rid of some of them, but like now we're just kind of left with the ones that I had at my apartment because they're at least all the same color, and I need that in my life. But I was thinking about it the other day, like these things are at least 10 years old. Maybe that's gross. Maybe I shouldn't share that about it. But like, I don't know how old until like bath towels are really bad. But it's one of those things that's like, if we do a registry, that's something that I'm probably going to put on there, because we can probably do with some new ones we already have, but like good to upgrade and do all those things. And that goes for like, think of like your bed linens, maybe your luggage, how nice
Yep.
to go away on your honeymoon with just this beautiful luggage. Vacuums, like you talked about today. Oh, or those
Love it.
like those robot vacuums. What are the Roombas?
Yep.
The things that just like drive around your house and like your cat sits on.
Guys, I'm telling you right now, it might not sound fancy to get, linens, bath towels and sheets, new sheets for your bed and stuff. But I'm telling you, this is marriage 5 years in. It's just like, man, like waking up and just being wrapped in that luxurious comforter, and like having that, now we have, I don't think I mentioned this at all, but we have one daughter, and we have twins on the way as well. So
You
Danielle
heard it here
knows this.
first. I did hear
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I knew that, but
Yeah.
I don't think we've talked about it on the show yet, Dan.
We have not. So yeah, we're expecting twins, which is very exciting. But it's like those little things just add up to such a lovely, it's just, sometimes awesomeness is in the simple things, right? Like that 5 minutes before my daughter gets up and I'm just like, you spend time snuggling, laying in your bed. And if you're laying on sandpaper, it's not as great. Or like, drying yourself off with like a raggedy towel, like, whatever. Like if you like your old raggedy towel, like my wife's mom has this, like, no lie, she has like a raggedy towel that must be 30 years old and she brings it everywhere and it's weird. But yeah, I don't know. It's those simple little things sometimes that you just say like everybody's got like that favorite coffee mug, like I'm drinking out of my new favorite one.
Nice.
It's those little things. Think about it the same way. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, I mentioned it briefly earlier. Think about appliances, right? What appliances do you have that could be upgraded? Like we were gifted for Christmas the one year from my amazing sister a toaster oven. And until we had a toaster oven, I would have been like, yeah, whatever. We now use that toaster oven on the reg every day. Like
on the reg?
On the reg. Is that how they say it?
Do you so appreciate?
I appreciate. Yeah.
I appreciate.
Yeah, I appreciate. No, it is one of those things that are we love it to death. I was saying earlier, I am on a kick where I buy so many of my friends' food processors if it's on the registry, because every recipe I make somehow involves a food processor and I don't have one. So I always have to make do. So I'm always like, you need a food processor. If you don't have one and it's on your registry, I'm getting you the food processor. So maybe I should register for that too.
I'm going to say everybody should add an Instant Pot to their registry. If you
like the Instant Pot. I haven't had one yet.
I do. It is amazing. And if you get an Instant Pot and you like tomato soup, just hit me up in Patreon and I'll give you my recipe for this like baller tomato soup. That my wife, who's a very picky eater, said this is restaurant quality soup.
And I feel like she meant that in a really nice way too.
She did. And it's delicious. Like I made it several times a week this winter and it literally takes 20 minutes. You dump some stuff into the pot, you press start, you open it up, a couple minutes later, you blend it, you're done.
Yeah,
and I've
had it. We were over your house one night, and you served it to us, and it was amazing. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's delicious.
So I can attest to the tomato soup.
Oh,
fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah, Instant Pot, add it.
Yeah, done. Okay, so and it's like I said earlier, don't register for things that you don't want or you don't need. Like if you are anything like me, the thought of having two sets of china, like your dishes, one for the everyday and one for the like holidays, I can't do it. There is a set that my Nana has passed down to me that I'm like, I love you, thank you, I do not want this. Because we have a nice set of dishes that we just use every single day, and to me, I will bring them out for holidays. I'll bring them out for Tuesdays. I don't care. The thought of having to store two sets of dishes makes me kind of feel a little sick to my stomach. So don't feel like you have to register for the fine china or the fancy wine glasses if that's not something you need or want. Don't let people pressure you into making those decisions. Okay?
Yeah. Totally.
And if you do have people pressuring you into making those decisions and saying, well, you have to register for this thing, a little trick, and I believe I've shared it on the podcast before, is to register for it and then mark it as purchased on your registry. You can do that. You can go in and edit it and say, oop, I received this item. So then someone sees it and goes, well, they already got that. So I don't need to worry about getting it for them now. Done. Right? Because who wants to buy you two of the same thing or two similar things?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Dan, you were saying when you did your registry with Bed Bath & Beyond, you actually had to go back twice. Was that because people were buying you stuff, or what was happening there?
We just didn't get through the whole store.
So there is a thing, though, if you are going so far, like, through your engagement and people are buying you stuff, you want to keep an eye on your registries, because if there's nothing left on your registry for guests to buy, or not enough of a selection, you're going to leave guests to their own devices, and goodness knows what you're going to receive then.
Yeah, like after that first one, I was like, oh, we're good. Like there's some things on here. And she's like, no, like you should do all these other things as well. And we were surprised, like a lot of the stuff on that registry was off by the end of it. Like the majority of it was people had bought for us. And I kept thinking like, like it's good. Well, people are not going to buy that much for us. Maybe they'll give us, some cash monies or whatever. And no, almost everything was gone, because I feel like people also spread at least for us, I don't know if this is for everybody, but there was gifts that were kind of spread out between like the Rachel's bridal shower and the wedding day. Not too many people brought things on the wedding day, but a lot of stuff came from the bridal shower and a lot of things came to our home.
That's so cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I
Yeah.
like
I
that.
guess there was stuff at the wedding too, though. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I don't see many gifts at a wedding anymore. There's definitely a few that can come. Sometimes there's none at all, and it's just all cards, which to me is like that's great for the couple because they don't have to deal with it at the end of the night. I definitely
Yeah.
remember gifts at your wedding though, because I remember we were trying
Yeah.
to pack them into your car for sure.
I remember that too.
But yeah, it comes down to just like Dan said, letting the people that are there help you and guide you. They do know a thing or two about what they're doing, and at least listen to what they're saying, and then make a decision from there about what it is that you should register for. Maybe just outside of the box things that you didn't think about. Let them help you and guide you for sure, like Tyra did for you, Dan.
That's right. That's right. We actually brought her fudge the second time around because she's really good at baking, and she was making this homemade fudge. And somehow that topic came up during our first one. She's like, "Well, you better bring me some fudge when you come back." And we brought fudge, and she was like, "Oh my God, you guys are amazing!" Anyway,
That's
can
awesome.
we hop into like some do's and don'ts or maybe best practices kind of things for like you're just like yes.
This is my role. This is where I feel really comfortable.
Yeah.
Though I have to say, in talking about this, I'm wondering. I don't think Mike and I should really do a registry because we're doing such a small thing. But I don't know. Maybe we should. Who knows? Anyway, my wheels are turning. We'll say for sure.
I would say that you should, because I know that like we were not going to come to the wedding, but we want to help you guys start off on the right foot. So we would love to still gift you something, but we don't want to just give you like a gift certificate to something. We want to know, when you guys get married, that we want to give you a gift to get started off on the right foot by.
Oh, thanks, Dan. Oh,
Welcome.
this makes me uncomfortable. Oh, I'm sweating. Okay. This is why we're not doing a big wedding. I'm literally like my hands are. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk etiquette. Okay, that's my happy place. So. It is completely and utterly 100% inappropriate, not okay, and classified as tacky to put any information about your wedding registry on your wedding invitation. Okay, guys? So, like, do not put your wedding registry. I just realized how hard it is to say that. Do not put your wedding registry information on your wedding invitations. Got it? Because that invite is coming from you. Even if technically your parents are hosting, it is still coming from you, and you do not want that on your invite. Okay?
But save the date's different, right? Like you can put registry on the save the date card.
No, 100% not.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Registry can go on your shower invitation. You are not hosting your shower. It can go on an engagement party if you're not hosting the engagement party. Now, what you can do, and it is totally acceptable, is to put your wedding website link, your URL, on your invite, your save the date, your every little thing that goes out. And on your wedding website, it is totally okay to have a little tab for your wedding registry because that's where all the information lives. So that's one of the ways that you can be completely kosher and very, very appropriate, very classy, and sort of get around all of that. Because, guys, we get it. Your guests, you've spent all this time building your registry. You're super excited about the things that are on there. Obviously, you want to share it. And it's so easy to be like, oh, well, we put that information in the wedding invite, right? And it's like, absolutely not okay. And this isn't me judging you. This is us giving you like a good tip here to be like, oh, we didn't even think about that, right?
It's like that's like a pretty much universal thing, right? Like it's like a tacky no.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you Google it, does the wedding industry go on the invite? You will get article after article that says hails to the no. Okay.
Okay. So here's a question then. So my understanding then is that if it's things that are hosted by the couple would not put those things on there. But something like the bridal shower, that's usually thrown for the bride.
Yes.
If it's an engagement party where people are coming together and throwing a party for the couple, okay to put the registry link or where you're registered on there, right?
Right. Very much
Okay.
so. Yes,
Okay.
exactly. And, there's other ways around it too. You can let your parents or other guests that you have spread the word. But it's really just about getting that information out there any way possible but the invitation. Which to
Okay. Good
me,
to know.
I mean, like, I get it, it's super tacky, but to me it's like, yeah, but they need that information. But don't do
Yeah.
it, guys. Resist the urge.
Yeah, invitation and save the date, because I want to. For me, I just
Yeah,
think only of invitation as like just the wedding invitation, and save
good
the
point.
date is separate. But wedding invitation and save the date, no go, only wedding website on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and
Okay.
and again, wedding website's cool, and the wedding website can have the registry information. All good. They'll find it, I promise.
Okay.
I do know, like, when you're trying to get the word out to guests, a very common thing, especially if they're shopping online, guests are saying, well, where are we going to send it to? Like, where are these going to? And most of the registries, I didn't do the research to check if every single one does this, but most of the ones that I've shopped with and have experience with will allow you, when you're setting up your registry, to set up an address of where you want these things sent, whether you want it to go to your house, your parents' house, if they have more storage, whatever it may be, wherever you need it to go to. It does not share that address with the person purchasing it. So if it's, like, if you're worried about getting weird mail or anything at that address, you don't have to worry about that. You just would set it up, it hides it from the shopper, and it makes it super easy for the person buying the thing to just have it shipped to the couple. Boom, done. They don't need to know your address. They don't need to know anything like that.
Okay. So here's another question for you then. Let's say that you don't want gifts at all. You just like the wedding day. Yeah, granted, maybe gifts for the shower is one thing, but like, let's say just for the wedding day, you're like, hey, we don't want anybody to come, but we just want cash monies. We want to be able to do whatever we want with it. Whatever. Like, how, if at all, do people ask for cash monies?
Yeah. I mean, doesn't everybody, right? Like, wouldn't you maybe rather get just like the dollar bills versus like the things,
The
because
Benjamins,
then you get to decide how you spend that money, and then you
the
get to decide,
Washingtons,
do we really need the Washingtons, all the
the
Washingtons.
dollars. Sorry, continue.
It's okay, but like, then you get to decide what you spend. Maybe it's your mortgage payment that month, you know what I mean? That just makes things a little bit easier. So yeah, but it's really tricky when it comes to just coming right out and saying, yeah, we need cash. One of my clients, actually, just this week, they have a beautiful house filled with things in Philadelphia. And in Philly, real estate ain't cheap. And, every space that they have is filled with a thing. So they're kind of like, we don't need more things to kind of fill up the space. They have what they want, but they said, but we are saving for a new house one day. And how can we get the point across that, like, hey, houses aren't cheap, and, we'd love your help with that. So we sort of came up with a nice way to be like, these are the registries that we're registered at. And our goal in the future is to save up for a really beautiful house one day. Boom. That's it. Let people read into it from there. Or maybe you can say something where, we have everything that we need, and but we are really looking forward to taking the honeymoon of a lifetime. Done. People are going to know how they're going to contribute from that, whether you go through something like Honey Fund or you just hope that people give you the cash or the checks, which, speaking of, do some research with your bank, but know that you cannot cash a check if it is written out to both of your names, if both of your names aren't on your account. So if your name is, Sarah Jones, and your partner is Bethany Broad Street, the check cannot be written out to Sarah Jones and Bethany Broad Street. It has to be written out to Sarah Jones or Bethany Broad Street, or just one or the other, and neither can be written in a future married name if that married name has not yet been legally established. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. If you are a guest going to a wedding, watch how you write out a check. Just give cash. It's way easier. But if you are writing out a check, just write it out to one person or the other. Don't make it to like the future Mrs. Broad Street. Why is that name in my head? I don't know. Is that from something?
Street?
I don't know. It's just a pretty name, I guess, when I think about it. But anyway, yeah.
Okay. All right. So now, going on that same theme of what do you do when you like don't want something or want something different? What happens when you get something from somebody that you don't want or wasn't on your registry or maybe is a double or something like that?
Suck it up. Not just kidding. Well, I mean, I treat it like any other life event, right? We've all gotten gifts in our life that we're like, thank you so much.
Ooh, the thought is so nice.
Yeah, you be gracious, be thankful, and deal with it after, right? Like never bring up that something wasn't liked or appreciated. And being a bride or groom does not mean that you get to forget your manners. You think of it, like I said, like Christmas or your birthday. How would you handle it in that situation? You may hang on to it and maybe regift it to a future couple who you know is, getting married and would really like this thing. There's often ways that you can return it, especially with things that are purchased through your registry. There are things that are so easy to return. Something I did read when we were going through this and doing a bit of the research was that you should always wait to use the presents that arrive before the wedding. So if you're getting presents before the wedding actually takes place, you're technically supposed to wait to use them until after the wedding happens. Because, and this is a quote, heaven forbid, should the event not take place for whatever reason, the rule of thumb is that all of the gifts must be returned, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's a lot harder to return that toaster oven after you've, toasted a few things, know what I'm saying? Like it's just true.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Interesting.
Did you guys, because you had showers and stuff for Rachel and all of those things, which, can we just talk about that? Why can't the showers be for both people? Why does it just have to be for the bride?
Yeah, it kind of bums me out. And it's I was only allowed to like I could only come like towards the end. Actually, if I remember correctly, I was shooting a wedding that day and we were able to, I was able to swing by. Like it just so happened that like from where we were driving to from the ceremony to the reception, we had this big long drive and a huge break, and we were supposed to be taking pictures, but the weather didn't hold up, so we ended up canceling pictures and going right to the venue. And it just so happened that literally the route that I was driving by took me right past the restaurant where Rachel's bridal shower was, and I was able to stop there really quick, give her a hug and kiss, and then keep going and shoot the rest of the wedding. It was pretty awesome.
That's awesome. I just wish it was like more about the two people.
Yeah.
I guess because I don't know. I get it. I get where it comes from though. Anyway, archaic things. But let's change that. Can we just finish real quick? I want to expand on the thought of giving thanks and doing all that.
Yeah, I feel where you're going with this.
I think that's really important thing. And Dan, your wife Rachel is wonderful at.
Oh, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the art of saying thanks is something that's like slowly lost a little bit. Like one of the things I think we need to really do is get away from like a templated email or a text message or whatever, and just still come back to, especially for the wedding, a handwritten note. And like it takes a while, but these people took time out of their schedules. They, they're a lot of times giving you monies, they're giving you gifts, they're giving you their time. It doesn't take that long to send out a couple of thank you cards. You can template them and say, hey, thank you so much for coming to our wedding. We are using the toaster that you got us. We use it every morning. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Love, Dan and Rachel. And then the next one is thank you so much for coming to our wedding. We're using the candelabra set that you gave us for the holidays this year, and we're so thankful that it brings so much joy and love and illumination into our dark home. Whatever. Like do this. Do the same things. Do the same thing over and over again. Don't reinvent the wheel. But that handwritten note goes a whole long way to these people. Even if somebody literally opens it and goes, "Oh, that was nice." Boom. It's better because there are some times where people are like, "Hey, we went to this wedding and we didn't get a thank you card." So I think people expect it. So a good rule is between 3 to 5 weeks of receiving the gift, right? Not the wedding, receiving the gift is the ideal time to send those out.
Exactly. And you want to stay on them because the more you procrastinate on them, the more it builds up and then the more you got to do. Like Dan said, come up with your own template, you're filling the blanks so that you're not recreating the wheel each time and you can knock it out. Even if you're knocking out 10 a night, you could do it. It sucks, but it goes a long way. I have absolutely been to weddings where I've either given a gift or we've given cash or whatever it is, and I haven't heard anything from them. And I get it, like I'm terrible at it too, but it does kind of stink. And in those cases, I sort of wonder, I know like the email's not okay and the text message isn't okay, but I kind of would have at least appreciated a text message over nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but like even just someone saying like, oh, thank you so much for doing that. We are so behind on thank you notes, but I did just want to say we received it. We love it. We think it's so beautiful, functional, whatever.
Yep.
And, love you so much. Blah, blah. Like I don't know. I would rather that over nothing at all, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Agreed. Cool.
Agreed. Guys. Okay. So this is where, I am so excited to hear everybody's thoughts. I want to hear what everybody's thinking in the Patreon group. Where are you registering? Please share in the community because we listed off a few places. You may have found this like hidden gem that is just amazing that you want to share with everybody. Please feel free to do that to our Patreons in the community. And I'm excited.